Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. Bright sunshine on this Friday at the Big A. The temperature will approach 60 degrees later this afternoon. The main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. Portable rails are up, 24 feet on the outer turf and 18 feet on the inner. And we have an Empire 6 jackpot carryover of more than $163,000. Right now, we'll take a look at the changes for the 10-race card. In the first race, scratch 4, Well Kept Secret, and 5, Simple Sugar. In the first, scratch numbers 4 and 5. Second race, we have a rider change on the 6, Duchess of New York, to Mike Luzzy. Mike Luzzy will ride the 6. And scratch the also eligibles 11 through 16. Scratch 11 through 16 out of race 2. In the third race, scratch 1A, Twisted Tom, and the 9, Home Run Maker. Scratch 1A and 9. No changes in race 4. Race 5 will kick off the Empire 6. Scratch 1A, Douse's Beach. 7, Ghost Giant, and 11, Bronx Bomber. Scratch 1A, 7, and 11. In the sixth race, these scratches. Scratch 11, Halo City. 13, Wishes and Dreams. 14, Miss Taparado, and 15, Simply Sweet. Scratch 11, 13, 14, and 15 from the 6th. Today's 7th race is the first leg of the cross-country Pick 5. Scratch number 3, Courageous Dinah. Scratch the 3. In the 8th race, scratch 1A, Bad Guy. 11, Quid, and 12, The Last Zip. Scratch 1A, 11, and 12. Ninth race, scratch the also eligibles, 11 through 16. And note that number 4, Go-Go Shoes, will be 1 pound over. And in today's 10th race, scratch 4, La Negrita, and 5, Gagliano. Scratch 4 and 5 from the 10th. Main track fast, turf courses firm. Empire 6 jackpot carryover stands at $163,513. We'll be back at 11:20 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 11:50. Coming up next, it's the Friday free-for-all. We call it Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. He is the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling, as you can see, by the way. It's written on TV.
Right,
I don't know why do I have to say it every day?
I mean, it's
there.
nice to be introduced. I mean, I think it belongs in the program.
Special for you.
But I mean, I do like the fact that everybody gets to see the Twitter handle and everything, too.
I think it's gaining big Twitter following.
You know, in Saratoga, you brought it up. You know, in Saratoga, I gained 600 Twitter followers since.
Because you're going to say pounds, I started to get nervous.
Since Saratoga, 62. That just goes to show you how people are paying attention in Saratoga.
Maybe it just goes to show you that people are sick of you.
I mean, that could be it as as
bringing it up as a possibility.
My ego doesn't allow me to think that. But,
right. I mean,
I give all glory to Saratoga. But
things quiet down in the fall. It'll pick up a little for the Breeders' Cup. A little different this year with the Derby in September. But I agree. I mean, things will pick up. It's it's cyclical. Things in life are cyclical, Anthony.
That's what I heard, Andy. I've heard that.
While we're talking about all these important issues in the world, you, more importantly, need to head over to NYRABets.com if you're not a member. And ask yourself that important question: why am I not a member? What's wrong with me? Become a member. Support racing. Keep the money in the game. Support racing in New York.
It's a very big question.
We will match up to $200 your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Head over to NYRA Bets. Enjoy the many great things NYRA Bets has to offer now, not through NYRA Bets, but in general. There'll only be 6 of these left. This Friday through Sunday and next Friday through Sunday, as we're not racing this year on Thanksgiving. Address that in a second. Going to have these cross-country Big Fives. They've been good value, good fun. I'll be doing the late part of the show. Actually, look to those Churchill races. I have to get involved in that. Races 7 and 8 here, and races 5, 6, and 9 at Churchill Downs. And Aqueduct Saturday contest continue. Saturday contest, love these. These are great. I really honestly wish that I could play. I would play every single week.
You'd have loved these. You love them now. You'd have loved these things 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
You'd have been all in 20 years ago.
You know, if you're a member of NYRA Bets, you can play these. Obviously you keep money, the money you make, all cash prizes, et cetera, et cetera. As far as Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving.
You'd have been running around here 20 years ago with this contest on a Saturday afternoon over by the old kiosk. It would have been incessant.
Everybody would have been great, right? It's. With Thanksgiving, the truth of Thanksgiving is it had really changed. It used to be a much more popular day.
10:30 was like the Breeders' Cup Saturday post.
The handles haven't been good. It's harder for people, and stuff, and it just sort of lost its luster of Thanksgiving. I think it's nice. I mean, obviously it's different this year because very few people are actually at work, but there are people who have to be at home working.
The tradition part of it was great too because it was you got in here at 10:30, you were gone by 2:15.
Right, it started to get too late. I don't know why we did that. One of the only
signals that ran, and then all of a sudden, simulcasting popped up. Everybody ran. It almost became like a regular day. I mean, the Churchill card goes late. I know Santa Anita, Del Mar actually runs their card at a regular time. So yeah, it became. It's unfortunate, but racing-wise, it became like a regular Thursday almost. Just a regular Thursday. And Thanksgiving, I don't think was ever.
So
the racing was ever
on
meant
to the
be
business
that.
At hand.
Oh, yes.
The first race was just absolutely shredded by the scratches with the 4 coming out, and even the 5 to a lesser extent. You can make the 2 my 4th choice if you are so inclined. And now you're basically dealing with a first-time starter, and I'll show you a stat for John Terranova. And this win actually was recently. He got the job done. In fact, he beat me. He beat Well Kept Secret, the horse that beat Well Kept Secret. So he had a mission. He had to be one in a long string of horses that nailed me at the wire. Not a move that's worked that well, but given what's left in here, either Twiddle's going to win in all likelihood, or Tap the Barrel's going to win. Tap the Barrel was in a contending position when the horse clipped heels and stumbled last time and lost the rider. Fortunately, Farron Peterson was okay. I razzed him out today. It's experience versus a firster. One of these 2 will win. You and I have sided with experience.
Yes.
There's really not much to say.
That was it. That was it.
Race number 2. Now, it is a terrific card today. And Saturday and Sunday, also big cards. I mean, when you're printing these cards and there's 31, 32 pages every day, you know that there's a lot going on. The rest of this card after the debacle that is the first race today is really strong, starting with the second race. And the second race is, mostly horses that haven't run the turf, but a few with experience. You have gone to the number 9 in this race. Camset,
Comset.
based on.
I think it's Comset. So showed a little speed. I only went slow first time, going to 7/8, but the horse was forwardly placed. Cuts back to the 6 today. Jose Ortiz rode this horse first time, stays aboard.
Is there a story on this horse?
No. I had a little
There's
bit
no
of
running.
I had a little bit of a push on this horse in the debut.
Okay.
And you know I like to bet the horses coming back, and I think the 6 furlongs, she might be better suited for that.
She was on a very, very, very slow pace last time out. I'm going to defer to horses, and I'm looking for horses that were against the track opening weekend here when the inside was very strong. And there's 2 in here, and that's the 5 Athena Dancer for Wayne Potts, who was 2 to 3 wide and then even wider in the stretch. And even Love's Misery, who was 3 wide last time out, who was compromised. So for me, the 5 and 10 are automatic plays in here, horses that were hurt by the way the racetrack was playing, and they're the 2 I'm going to focus on in this race. Obviously, there are firsters, particularly the 7 Barrel of Bliss, who you don't seem to have in the money. You know, the Dam Barrel of Joy was pretty good. She was a multiple winner of the turf. She produced Barrel of Destiny, 2 for 2 with production. Thought this horse could be interesting on the pedigree.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple of other horses in here.
Okay.
The ones that have run and a couple of other more interesting firsters. It's a tough, and I know she's the half the Barrel of Destiny. The barn is having a very tough year. And for me, trying to get a first-time starter home from a barn who doesn't have any kind of first-time starter
Horse is going to be $1 million to 1. These are the kind of horses
but
that
is
you
she
use.
going to be that big of a price?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
think she
she's going
is?
to be a big price in here.
Okay.
And I'm not in love with her. I like the 5 and 10, as I said, for discussing some pedigrees. I know the 2 Get the Candy. The Dam has produced a couple of turf winners. They were buyers in the 70s. She herself wasn't much of a turf horse, but her production has been pretty good. And Twirling Candy seems like a reasonably okay turf sire. We'll see what happens in race number 2. Race number 3, we'll look at Abiding Star winning in Saratoga when there was an actual speed in the race. It's funny, the speed in that race was McCarran.
Yep.
And for some reason, they just didn't have any interest in
You can make a 2-speed
taking
double.
advantage of his taking advantage of his speed, and they rated him in this race. When they did that, the talented Abiding Star got the job done, and Jose Ortiz has one job in here: just go to the lead.
That is
Good horse.
the beauty of, well, yes. And I think they go hand in hand in here. When you have a horse that has the speed this horse has, and they get the job done, it's a very dangerous hombre, as they would say. And he is kind of point and click, right? Like, there's not a lot to decipher here. Put this horse on the front end, and that's it.
David doesn't think that this horse will be favored. He's got
I
Morocco
have to
favored?
think he's going to be favored. Well, Morocco's favored coming in off of races out of town, Churchill Downs, in Kentucky,
He's favored because he's
Maker.
dropping down because he's faced better horses and he's run faster races. But his last 2 races leave a lot to be desired.
His last 2 races are the problem because his last 2 races are the races he kind of ran before Mike Maker claimed this horse. And if he's starting to fall off and thus the drop, yeah, I think there are, he can obviously win this race, but if David thinks especially if he's going to be the favorite, I really don't.
The horse that beat him
He's hard
last
to bet.
time came back to win at Keeneland at 22 to 1 actually, and improved his buyer figure 2 points. And I think there's an argument he was running in a much better field. I don't really know what that rank into first turn means. I have no idea. I have no idea what any of the chart calls mean in Churchill because it does seem consistent that the person who does chart calls watches a completely different race than the one I see. It might be me. I may just be on some sort of hallucinogen every time I see a race from Churchill. But it's
are you?
Yeah, I must be because it's never.
What's in that teacup?
It's never. I can't tell you.
Okay.
I'm not watching any Churchill races today, so it's only when I watch the Churchill races that I get a flashback. I guess this horse can win. There's no question. I mean, I think you have to be scared of him, but I think his last race was bad. I thought Attentive was a little bit interesting. No, I didn't. You did. You thought Attentive. Excuse me.
I
Why?
thought Attentive was a little bit interesting. So Carl Berberg came in for what seemed like 10 minutes.
I thought he was going to have horses here.
I have no idea. Claimed a few.
He had a story with Dave Grenig. He was coming to
Yeah.
New York. He was doing this.
Claimed a
Where he
few.
just put a couple horses in stalls so he could claim horses and leave town. Is he around? Does he have any horses here?
I haven't seen him. Claimed a few.
I'm going to start trouble with him on Twitter if I find out that he's not really here.
My man Tom Morley reached in and grabbed this one for a quarter. And this horse's
his
turf races, you know, Tom has done a good job. Off the top of my head, Santhique, Duncastle.
Well, Duncastle, he got a little help.
Yeah. Still, you still got to pull the trigger.
Well,
Right.
Duncastle made claim because of me. Let's be honest here.
Xanthi.
They were stupid enough to listen to me.
Harry Rice IV is going to take credit for Xanthique.
I'm going to guess that that's probably a lie, but
The horse yesterday, whose name I remember the other two, I can't remember the one that ran third.
regardless,
yesterday.
fine.
I thought this horse's turf races were good enough, and if they follow along where Tom has improved these horses, he's taken off.
Well, you're asking him to improve from Carl Broberg. I think that's a lot to ask. Nothing against Tom, but that's a little bit of a dubious assertion. I thought Willing to Speed was a little bit interesting here as another horse in this race. Willing to Speed is not really a distance horse. I know he ran that race for Rob Atras, 1.25 miles. Rob Atras had a couple of miracles yesterday, I thought. This horse is better going shorter, and he's okay. And the 1.25 mile race he was in, it had no pace, better horses. Cutting back's going to help him. And I thought Willing to Speed might be a little interesting here. See what happens. Race number 4, speaking of Tom Morley, McCarran. I mean, it's almost like this race was written as if McCarran can't win this race, and we'll take a look at his last race, of course, when I bet him at 9-2, and he lost at the wire to Vineyard Sound. If he can't win today, when's he going to win?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't pick anybody else in here.
I think that's a good way to put it. I guess he's got to deal with, he's faster, but Ryan's Cat from the inside, I would guess, is going to have to try to press. I mean, he doesn't have any other choice, I don't believe, but this horse is just faster. He's just faster than him, and he just
I think that the concern is
found
that
the right spot.
Concern is that he's not a horse that's effective rating. That's the concern with him. And Ryan's Cat is likely to be the speed, and he's got to stalk that one. I'm not sure that Kendrick.
You don't think he's faster than him?
No. I think one time he was faster than him. I don't know if he still is. I think that Kendrick would be well suited here to be aggressive with him and try to intimidate Ryan's Cat, but we'll see if that happens. After that, I mean, the problem is you and I have Topper T second, and honestly, he's been bad. He looks on paper like he's run okay. He hasn't. He was second by default in the worst way, both last time and 4 races back. He's just doing no meaningful running at any point in these races. I don't want Release the Thunder, whose form is dissipated to me. I respect Mike Maselli, but I just think he's running one slow race after another. And Durkin's Call, who you know I have a thing for, is he going to get enough speed to close into? And he just isn't winning.
And let's be honest, we're talking about if you're thinking about Durkin's Call, and we just got done saying the Topper T's done no running. He can't get by Topper T when he's doing the no running. So it's kind of hard to really endorse him too.
I agree, and you know McCarran, he just lays over these horses, and he's supposed to beat these horses. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I don't see a major chink in his armor. I guess the problem is if you're a little concerned that he won't be as effective if he's not able to get the lead.
Yeah.
That's the potential chink in his armor.
Right.
But he runs his last race, he'll absolutely massacre this field.
If he runs his last race, they're all running for second one.
It's not even close. Race number 5. Well, we have the Mo Maverick issue to deal with in race number 5, going out for Rudy. He ran this race for Jason Service, and I don't know if they're going to show this race if his case comes to trial, but they should. They really should. They should show this race. That first time for Jason Service, this horse ran this race. They should.
104.
I think that would be it. They would just rest their case based on this.
104 buyer figure.
This was some performance by him.
Is there a horse? Is there a turf sprinter in the country that could have beat him that day?
No, he would have won the Breeders' Cup sprint.
He would have won the Breeders' Cup sprint that day. Belvoir Bay would have been running for second money last year.
I agree. Coming off fake wins when he was able to control the pace. I mean, I know at one time he had some talent. He clearly refound it and then rebroke off of it. He is the speed here, though.
He is.
And that does make him a bit dangerous. I could never pick him, but I can't say he can't win. I just don't know who Mo Maverick is anymore.
If you're closing a pick 4 or a pick 5, you're absolutely using him. Can't be leaving him out, right? Possible to leave him out.
Why would you leave him out?
No, can't leave him out.
He's kind of the horse to beat. He's both the horse to beat and the horse to bet against.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun, sports fans?
Well,
the horse to beat and the horse to bet
he's
against.
He's a problem horse because hasn't really run a particularly good race in a while, but he was gifted those wins. You know, one was from a trainer that's now under a criminal indictment for using performance-enhancing drugs, and the other one he just walked in the front end against a questionable field. You've got Freewheeler. Go ahead.
Big fan of this. I'm a fan of this horse.
Based on?
We talked about him in Saratoga. He kind of got caught in that race in Saratoga, first time off the bench, where the Jeremiah Engelhardt horse didn't go to the lead, and Noble Emotion kind of got loose on him. I don't think he preferred the ground 2 starts back, and then last time he was able to.
What do you mean he didn't like the ground 2 back?
I don't think he really preferred the good
There's
going.
Then when we were picking him today, I think this course has got more or less given the course he was on that day.
I think it's different. I think you and I have talked about this.
Well, I don't agree with you. I think it's worse. If you think he has a problem with ground, if you actually believe that he has a problem with ground, then he shouldn't be in your top 4 today.
Okay.
He should just be a pick.
I think it's a different kind of course, but maybe you're right.
But it's clearly a course that has given it.
The biggest problem.
Probably more than it did that day.
The biggest problem.
He went 21-4, 44-4.
The biggest problem I think I have with him is the fact that his 2 wins. He was just off the pace when he broke his maiden, and last time he was able to get in front of kind of boss these around. We just discussed Mo Maverick. He's going to have to kind of sit off of Mo Maverick today. Now he's run. He's run okay. He hasn't run great. He's run okay when he hasn't had the lead. Again, we don't know which Mo Maverick's going to show up in here. And it's the reason I put them 1-2.
I won't be shocked when he runs well. As you can see, I picked him second. There's a problem with his last race. If you believe the posted fractions, which most sane people wouldn't, then he got away with such a ridiculously slow first quarter that when you're able to come the last half in 45, nobody can come from behind. Trackers has that first quarter a second faster. They'll sometimes be a third, quarter to a third of a second faster, but Trackers has it a lot faster. I'm not sure which to believe. I wonder if the truth is somewhere else. I don't know.
Now, if you think about it in other terms, that's 5 or 6 lengths. I mean, that's a lot.
Anyway, so I have problems with this horse. I'm not sure what to make of him. His last race may be better than it looks.
Fair enough.
But you talk about course condition. Duress went 110-4 yesterday. Okay, Duress would go 107-4 routinely on a firm turf, and on the good course at Saratoga, Duress still would have gone faster than 110-4. So if you actually believe, which I don't believe he lost his race 2 back having anything to do with the course condition. I think he got pushed in the front end. It was an aggressive pace, and it was also a very competitive field. I don't know how good he is. If you think that course condition is a problem for him, then you should never like him today, because this course will never be firm. It's going to be good.
Don't you think it's different?
No. I think all courses are different, but you're saying you think he has some problems with give. There's give in the ground. There's like significant give in the ground. 110-4. These courses are not firm courses. You see, I think it's important to make a distinction. I'm not saying that I don't care about the course condition. I do in some cases, not with him. I took a shot with Opt. We'll take a look at Opt back last time out, and I would say Javier probably moved a little soon and a little wide in this race. This race absolutely fell apart in the late stages, and he was the first mover into it. Unlike the eventual winner, who saved ground and split horses, unlike the second place horse who saved ground and came from dead last, I think that Opt's kick was minimized a little bit by the way the race was run. The problem with Opt, and I put him on top because I'm looking for alternatives, and I agree with you the 2 can win. I just don't really trust him totally. I don't think he's that good. Obviously the 1 can win. I wasn't really sure where else to go in here. I'm not sure that Opt's going to be effective going 6 furlongs. 7 may have been the perfect for him. But the way he ran last time, I'm not so sure that he can't be effective, so I'll take a shot with him.
And listen, closing the early pick 5, I'm going to use the 4 horses. I'm using the 1, 2, 3, 4. My biggest problem with him is the fact that he might just be a little bit too much of a grinder for 6 furlongs, right? He doesn't really have a big punch, even there for the last.
But we saw grinders do fine yesterday in the 9th race, so I'm not sure that grinding can't work out.
Okay. Right.
Return of Colonel Tom. There was once a Colonel Tom that could win this race. I don't know if he still exists. He's been running in lower level races. I wonder if Call Me Harry is going to be aggressive today. They're going to keep him around. why not be aggressive with him?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to get into a cutthroat duel with Mo Vavrick, but make him run and get in the pace, because his best races, frankly, were when he was aggressive.
When he was aggressive.
It's when they've been more passive with him that it hasn't really worked out.
Part of the reason I liked Colonel Tom was the fact that the old Colonel Tom we know would have been duking it out with Mo Maverick on the front end, and now he passed a bunch of horses last time, which may be a sign of life for him. I don't know.
Maybe Bust and Shout's going to go with Kendrick.
Yeah.
One thing about Bust and Shout, and it's something I know Roddy agrees with, who owns him, he's not effective unless he's in front. So if you're going to be
he's a
in
fast
here,
horse too.
yeah, you're supposed to be aggressive like Kendrick was last time. See what happens in race number 5. Actually, kind of an interesting race. We move on to the late pick 5, but we'll take a quick break. And Anthony and I will be back to talk about the late pick 5 in just a moment. We're back. Did you miss us? I missed us.
I mean, I was sitting right here with you.
I like every time I look at you, I see the Nosferatu doll, which we affectionately refer to as Ernie Munich.
All right.
It's one of the nice things about being an Aqueduct is I get to see Ernie. He's a great man. He's a great legend in New York racing. Truly. His Runners and Bummers column, I've said it before, in the Daily News in the 80s was like an oasis for smart horse players. It was so good. It was the best.
Long time.
Best thing I've ever, the best public handicapping in a newspaper like that I've ever seen. Funny, smart, interesting. Ernie was, to me, a legend. To me, that like was Hall of Fame material. Race number 6 is an interesting race. Let me guess. Oh, it was easy for you. You had Klarovich, Chad Brown. It's not how it was Joel Rosario. He'd be like a 7-star special.
He's a 4-star special.
Why is he so good, this horse?
I don't know if he's so good.
I didn't
I don't know if he's so
love
good.
his last race. I don't know. He's got no speed. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with this
Do
horse.
we know that he definitely has no speed? Do we know that for certain?
You think he's going to be in front today? You like him?
He went
You're gonna
7. I don't think he's going to be in front, but we see how many times have we seen these Chad Brown horses running a one-turn / sprint first time out, have 0 speed, and then they're sitting 3 lengths off
I
the
actually
lead
know the
going
number.
along.
No, I do. I actually know it. 3 over the last 10 years. It's 3. But, hey, he could be the 4th. Because it's always possible. I understand he can win this race. He's a European who took money first time out. But the reality is, I don't know if he's going to be 3-1 in here. It just feels like this is a wildly tough race to handicap. And the public is just going to... They're going to gravitate to him with Irad and Chad. And they're going to just gravitate to this guy. And he's got an outside post. He can win. Obviously, I hope he runs well, but I don't know. He strikes me as kind of a cop-out. Not you. I think everybody is going to sort of like just land on this guy because...
I don't feel he was necessarily a cop-out for me, man. I don't really like anything else in here that's run. And I'm going to, like I told you, we've talked about this, I'm going to default to what I've had
at a short
success
price,
with.
though. But at a short price.
He's going to be a short price, yeah.
That's the problem. Well, why did he run any better than this just in first time out is going to be a much better price? Yes, to Chad Brown horse, he's probably likely to improve more. You think 15-1 on this just in isn't like commensurate? Probably a better bet. I don't know what to do with Palamos. Palamos, by the way, was my favorite morning line at Keeneland. What was he, 8-1 or 12-1 first time out?
12-1, I believe.
So it's a full to Mississippi. It's a graded stakes horse, second to Sister Charlie in the Flower Bowl from Graham Motion in a nondescript field. And the morning line maker had this horse like 8-1. That was really somebody who's doing their homework. Is it that hard to do your homework in a job in racing?
You feel like she was a little disappointing first time out?
Well, obviously, she ran 4th, beaten 5 lengths at 5-2. I'd like to think that's at least a little disappointing.
What I'm saying is, we'll see horses take some money and have a pedigree, and have that running line and be like, all right, well, she definitely needed the race and first time starter, and she's gonna. Do you have a lot of confidence she's going to improve today?
Do I have a lot of confidence she's going to improve? I have a reasonable amount of confidence.
Okay.
She broke slow. She was extremely green. And yeah, I think this is a horse that's going to benefit a great deal from a race. So, I'm confident? I don't know. I'm not a big confidence meter guy, but I think there's a very reasonable chance she'll improve. And I think I'd rather bet her at 50% more of the price than the Chad Brown horse.
Fair enough.
Because I don't really think she did any less running. If anything, she may have done more running. So I'm skeptical of the Euro on the outside. There's no horse get bet first time. Counterparty Risk was supposed to be able to run first time. That horse was supposed to run and ran just at best sort of okay. So yes, they can improve second time. But Chad Brown, it's one thing when Duopoly made her first start, when Chad's horses clearly needed a start, a lot of them, off the break. That's not been the case. We're not seeing necessarily second-time starters. We're seeing ones that are getting trips, but we're not seeing them run completely different races second time out.
I'm using the term sprint loosely because it was 7, but we don't see a ton of his turf sprinters come out and fire great shots.
7 furlongs is not sprints.
Yeah.
They liked the horse.
The
you know they liked him. They thought that she would run well, and she ran well. I like Adman here, speaking of Chad Brown, a horse that was either purchased at auction or purchased privately by 3 Diamonds since the last race. I didn't put the replay up. This was a real Joe Bravo special. He just got completely lost on this horse last time out. And while she wasn't going to win, she was going to be much, much closer if he hadn't just got her locked in behind horses and just while the race was being run, she was just sort of dawdling behind horses. I don't know what they were waiting for. And having said that, I thought she had a chance to be a little bit forward in this race. And I want to give her a chance. I don't love her, but she didn't get the right ride last time. I think a lot of people say, oh, it's from Chad Brown, it's a cast-off. Still might make her. And I thought this horse was an interesting alternative.
Okay. Fair enough. I thought Sugar's horse was all right in here, the 9-star Command.
Not impossible.
Yeah. Race 2 back at Kentucky Downs, then came and was, I don't know.
Oh, the last 2 races make this horse a player. I'm not going to argue with that.
Third off the layout, it's a big rider upgrade to Jose Ortiz.
Why is this just in, who ran a similar type race in his first start for Jimmy Toner? Why can't that horse run well? I don't disagree. I think there's other horses that are worth looking at. I think the Mike Matz horse at 3 looked me over. Has had a lot of chances, but has run races that are competitive. The horse of the rail has some pedigree. I don't know if I sent this stat in. No, I didn't. No, I forgot to use the Rob Falcone stat in race 3. Rob Falcone's very good off the claim.
Even the 4 Alemion, you're going to make fun of me because it's Rosario.
Well, that's the only reason you would talk about this horse.
But this horse broke from the rail first time out. I don't know. Kind of looked like she needed the race under her belt.
No, it didn't. It looked like she was absolutely pitiful. Is what it looked like, much like that one that ran yesterday. I mean, listen, Christoph.
Well, hold on. The Home for Christmas horse. I mean, that horse did. I don't feel like they looked the same at all.
Yeah, I watched both races, and they both looked like they just can't run.
This filly, to me, looked like she needed a race.
Christoph is terrific, but doesn't mean every horse in his barn can run.
No, I understand that, but
Chad Brown has bad horses in his barn, too.
I think everything last time pointed to this filly was going to need a race, and then she drew the rail as well.
What was everything?
The fact that she was 12-1.
Well, he's won with first-time stars at prices lately.
He has.
But he has.
But for the last 6 months,
well, 11 were
getting bid off the board and
not correct.
Momos was really the only one that didn't take any money.
Not correct.
First-timers?
The Space Horse paid $20.
Okay, that's a good point. But the Space Horse was going into the race.
He won off the turf
sector.
race at 12-1 by 6 lengths. Not correct. His horses are going off at prices. I mean,
firsters?
Yeah. Some of the ones that have run have been big.
Paid $12 and Space Launch.
He had one that paid $26 at Belmont.
Firster?
Well, I looked it up because you actually made a false claim, claiming that you picked a winner, a first-time starter winner, for Christoph in the dirt, and I mocked you. I didn't, because the only winner he's had besides Momos on the dirt was the off-the-turf horse, which you didn't pick. But
who was that?
I don't know. The horse paid 12-1. I don't know his name.
Firster?
Go in Formulator and look it up. Look up his winners and first-time stars in the dirt. Yes. He won an off-the-turf New York bred race and paid $26.
Wow.
By 5 lengths. So Christoph has historically had horses run that didn't get bad. I just don't. The problem with that horse is it didn't do any running. That's the problem. If the horse ran at some point in a spot, I would say that. But feel free to watch the race. I saw absolutely nothing. Race number 7. Race number 7, I thought there were 3 major players in race number 7. The 2 Fierce Lady, the 4 Fair Regis, and the number 9 Playtone, who may be a bit slow. I didn't really have a strong opinion. We'll look at Fair Regis going back to the last day at Belmont, the last time this horse ran reasonably well. The problem with Fair Regis is she's just not a winning type anymore, is she?
No. And I'm going to try and wake her up. I'm giving her one more chance today. Giving her one more chance. But, yeah, she's kind of...
right?
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to bet this race.
Well, I mean, I would assume that one of the reasons that you also picked her is that Rob Atris's horses are outrunning their PPs again. I mean, that 28-1 shot yesterday.
She's kind of.
How did they know that horse was going to win Gone Glimmering? I mean, how did they know that she was going to have that speed, run that race? It's a little bit of an eye roll around here sometimes.
When barns heat up, I do tend to, A, jump on the train, and B, find a horse that has. It's not like she's hopeless. She has back races that would bury these horses, and you just hope that if she rides the flow, With that said, am I completely confident she's going to win for the first time in over 13 months? No, I'm not completely confident, but I just feel like with the way this race, I mean, there's a lot of speed.
There is a lot of, there's so much speed signed on here, it's possible the pace will be slightly better than slow. There's so much speed in this race that this pace actually may be neutral.
I mean, if they don't hit here, they're never going to hit, right?
They never hit, Anthony. It's a dream of yours. They hit.
I know.
By the way, Gray's Destiny is the name of the horse. Grey Destiny is the name of the Christophe Colomb horse.
Destiny.
Won on October 30th. The most entertaining moment in today's show for me is that you put Puffery second. You didn't have Puffery in the top 2 in a 4-horse field where she basically couldn't lose on paper last time. But in this spot, you've got her second.
I feel like you need horses that are going to be able to make up some ground in here.
Rudy love this one today?
No. But I'll tell you what, Rudy's horses started to run better when she woke up last time.
No, she didn't wake up last time. She found the right field last time. That's what happened last time.
But don't you feel... So here's what I want. This is and
she's the
customer
experience.
She's the one I want to ask
you
about.
It would be 50-1 in this field.
It was a 4-horse field, and she ran the best speed figure of her career.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Horses run their best races when they're faced in easy situations. That's the reason.
Doesn't it make you think? Because it makes me think she ran better than I thought she did. And
you had a bad opinion in the race.
No. After watching the race, I'm able to put that aside that I swung and missed.
That was big of you.
When you watch that race, I feel like the race came back faster than I thought it would be.
It was obviously fast at the time, but the reality, in my opinion, is one of the reasons that I find the he bounced or she bounced comment to be extremely unhelpful is that horses run their best races under optimal circumstances, and they rarely get into optimal circumstances. They might look on paper like they're in optimal circumstances, but they don't play that way in the track. You get Puffery in a field of 4, it was effectively a match race.
Right.
The 3rd and 4th horses were not even in the race at any point. So the horse is an easy stalking trip against overmatched horses, and she's just very happy out there. She's got the easiest situation. That's like, why do you see horses run exaggerated figures on wet tracks when they get loose? Because it's just like everything's going their way, and it's all working out. Horses will run their best figures under optimal circumstances, especially very facile optimal circumstances. So I don't think when she comes back and runs her usual 68 figure today that she bounced. I just think she's going to find herself in a much more competitive spot. Am I going to be shocked if she gets a piece of this race? No, because she's always had the talent to get here. And you're not wrong. She has a profile that fits the race. I don't think she's impossible here. The problem for me is she's going to be twice the price she was in a race that she almost had to fall down to lose last time out. And she's in a uber competitive spot compared to where she was last time.
That's fine.
I mean, he's got her 6-1. If she was almost 3-1 last time out, she should be 300-1 in this race. It's obviously she should have been 4-5 last time out. And in that case, maybe the 6-1 isn't that bad a price. So maybe that's not wrong on your part. It's just, I
think she'll be a little high. Like I said, I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm going to see her coming off a 78 buyer, and I think a lot of people are going to think what you think. By the way, I don't think your thinking is necessarily flawed. I could never bet her after getting the gift last time out in this race, and she is a horse, let's be honest. Doesn't exactly have a propensity for hitting the winner's
No, she doesn't.
circle.
Of course not. Of course not. But I just like the fact that she kind of, I don't know, to me she woke up a little bit last time.
You know, with Fierce Lady, I don't care what she did in the turf. She's not a turf horse. And she was disappointing two back. Having said that, Good Credence and Prairie Fire, they're better than the horses she's running against today.
No question about it.
And she actually ran those decent races last year when she rated. In fact, won a race rating. So even though she has the speed, I think Jose can leave. And when the speed, if the speed develops in front of him, I think he can get the right trip. So you know that I'm not Fierce Lady's biggest fan.
I'm
as I told you back at
this.
Well, I was looking at the three I could use.
I thought you were going to go to the 9.
I went to the 9 last time. My problem with the 9 is she's a little slow. She got that one good figure last year, but that figure is looking like an aberration. I mean, I liked her last time. I'm glad she got second, but Jewel of Arabia ran a lot better than she did last time, frankly.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I don't know if the 7. I think the 7 hurt her last time. I think the 3/4 is really what she's going to want to do. I think she's a big player in here today.
Oh, I think she's a big player too. I'm going to use 2 4 9s. We need to move on and realize I know somehow we've babbled our way through the card. There isn't much to say with the next race. We'll look at Dream Friend. Dream Friend, we'll take a look at the Saratoga race, finishing 4th in a field of horses that would be 3 to 5 or less in this field. I didn't want to pick this horse. I really liked the number 12 that didn't get in off the also eligibles, the last Zip, who improved. I don't trust Dream Friend. There's no speed in this race. This horse is supposed to go to the front. This is a terrible drop down. I know it's the end of the 5-year-old year, but this horse on the racetrack has shown no signs of letting up. There's an argument that if Jose had just gone forward in this race and not rated him, because they're all afraid of Hidden Scroll, he would have won this race. I think there's a fair argument for that. And he's supposed to win here, but this is a tough drop down to take. I don't disagree. The problem is I can't take voting control.
That's fine.
Because he stunk last time. I warned you last time he was a suspect horse, and maybe he'll run better second time off a little bit of a layup.
And that was the only reason. That was the only reason I flipped them. The only reason I flipped. And look, I know he's 6 to 5. Dream Friend's going to be 3 to 5 today.
Well, it depends what price voting control is. And maybe Dream Fund will be a little bit chilly. I don't know. But I don't, listen, I'm not, they're the two that are going to take money. I'd rather take even money in Dream Friend than 2 to 1 or 5 to 2 in voting control. They're the two horses probably. I couldn't make a case for anybody else here. I tried to make So High, but So High, you know, the one race going shorter on the turf was against, you know, nobody. In Turn of Events, I mean, just beat more like it.
The only way Turn of Events can get into the race is if Dream Friend is not aggressively ridden.
Well, also if Dream Friend has an issue and he doesn't run well, and voting control can't run at all anymore, if those things happen, horses like the 2 and 3 and even Malthial can win this race.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much else to say.
I don't either. I don't either.
See how quickly we did that race?
There wasn't much to say. It's 4s and 5, and if one of them show up, they're going to win.
Race number 9 gave me a gigantic headache. And we'll start out by talking about Windfall Prophet and Eye of the Soldier, the last race. Now, maybe there's a chance the capital structure is just good. You know, she may just be a really good horse because she buried this field. She just destroyed these horses. Yeah. They set her down the stretch, and it was like over.
Over with, right here. Watch this.
And Eye of the Soldier had the run of the race. It was not that she was going that slowly, but she wasn't going quick. She just devoured her. Windfall Prophet, I guess she overcame a moderate pace, but I mean, you look at the difference between the race that Capital Structure ran and the race that Windfall Prophet ran, and it's like they're in 2 completely different races. So is Capital Structure just that much better than these horses, or did Windfall Prophet get good and maybe she didn't keep getting better?
I think it could be 80-20. I think Capital Structure ran a big race.
But Windfall Prophet, I don't think ran as well last time as she did the time before that when she was faced with a wickedly slow pace that worked against her.
See, I'm going to tell you why I think I disagree a little bit with that. I disagree a little bit with that because I think the dynamics make the race 2 back looked like she ran better, and you might be right. I just think she ran behind a better horse last time.
But I don't care. The dynamics, she ran fast.
That's fine.
Well, she hit the wire at the same time as Eye of the Soldier 2 races back, who she was in with last time, and she barely beat her under more ideal circumstances on a course that's more favorable to her running style. And it's not that Eye of the Soldier had a bad trip, but relatively speaking, Windfall Prophet had a much better trip than she did. So I don't think Windfall Prophet ran that well last time. I'm not saying she can't win.
You think Windfall Prophet had a better trip than Eye of a Soldier last time?
No.
Oh, 2
Once
steps back.
again, She had
starts
a
back.
much better
Yeah.
trip relative terms than she did 2 races
Yeah,
back, and
no
she
question.
still reversed it by about that much, you know what I mean? And that to me means she didn't take a step forward. And it looked like she was taking a step forward when she broke her maiden. Is it warm in here?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if it
I don't
was
think they
me
shut the heat from yesterday.
having hot flashes. And I think Eye of the Soldier can win. The other thing about Eye of the Soldier, she can be forward in this race. And I don't know how forward she'll be. I mean, how scared are you that they're going to let Apurate go again? How do you?
Apurate?
Apurate.
I mean, I guess it could happen. I put a 4th.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't let this horse go.
So
I don't know
when
what to make
Kendrick
of it.
rated Go-Go Shoes last time,
Well, Go-Go Shoes isn't fast, but he should go here.
I'd
Go-Go
have to
Shoes
imagine
should go
Go-Go Shoes
here.
would be going.
I mean, Una Luna, and we'll get to her in a bit.
But they've been grading Una Luna too.
Well, we're going to discuss that in a moment. I think she should.
about Short Pour
She
from
should
the
at
rail?
least
What do you do
Short
today from
Pour
Short Pour?
absolutely has to go in here.
Right from the hedge?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Short Pour is impossible in this race, and they've got to be aggressive. I think the riding colony and the trainers need to understand that they've got to stop conceding leads to horses that they've decided
Well, that's
somehow
the
are going to be
problem.
in front, because horses are clear. Let me finish. Horses are clearing from outside posts, and then guys inside of them are pretending to go after them in the turn. The time to go is early, so you can prevent them from getting an easy lead on the rail in the first turn. The time to go is from the
don't get the
gate.
ground,
The time to
they
go
don't
is not
get-
after you've allowed somebody to get a gigantic advantage on you. It needs to stop, Anthony.
They don't get they don't
Needs to
get
stop.
how important it is to protect the inside position, especially in the turf races.
It never
I don't
happens
get it.
anymore. I don't understand
I
it.
don't
It
get
used
it.
to happen. I don't get it.
A horse that might be a length or two slower on paper would leave to protect position, and now they
Horses
just
that are faster aren't even leaving to protect position.
They completely
Crazy.
acquiesce, and they completely let the outside horses have the run of the race.
Let's
I don't
talk
get it.
about Fierce Scarlet. My problem with Fierce Scarlet is she's not a winning type. She just, a Chad Brown horse like this that's been a short price, and part of it's because it's Chad Brown, over and over again. Now, the other thing I will say about Fierce Scarlet is she should have won 2 back. She got a rotten trip 2 races back. You know, I liked her that day, and she was best in there. She got buried, but the problem with her is she runs by appointment only, and she doesn't win.
Okay.
But she can
All
win.
of that is true. But
She can win.
If you look at everyone's body of work in here, isn't she just running against better horses?
I don't know.
You
How
don't
much
think
better
she's
is
just-
Temple City Terror than these horses? How much better is Creasy and English Soul than these horses?
Creasy and
Excuse in there.
Creasy and English Soul compared to these horses are wind machines.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with it.
Sorrentino and Nay Lady Nay.
I
mean,
think
I know
that-
Nay Lady Nay went out
listen.
of town, but she won 3 stakes.
The 2, 5, and 8 can all win this race, and she can absolutely win this race. Nay Lady Nay improved immeasurably.
She did, but what I'm saying is, at the very, I mean, the
Concrete
horses
Rose.
she's been running against.
No, I know, but she's also, where is she? What takes her so long to get the races?
Oh,
She has lost at one ridiculous price after another.
I don't listen.
She should have
You're
beaten.
right.
It's my lucky charm.
But has
Call
she
Street.
really? You know, this might be the field.
Why, she's not running speed figures that make her dominant. Her speed figures don't suggest she's better. As far as Una Luna, I don't think Una Luna is close to the likeliest winner in this race. But I don't think that she's as bad as the price is going to suggest. What do I think about her race on September 18th? I think they decided to let their other speed horse be the speed, and they wrangled her back, maybe thinking she needed a race coming off of an 8-month layoff. Then she got reined off the turf. She's a horse that's got excuse me, turf figures that are fast enough to win here, and she's going to be a big price, and she can be forward in here. I'm just hoping. I don't love anybody here. I don't think any of these horses are that good, Anthony. So I'm going to put her on top and take a very small shot with her.
That's fine.
It's just when I
She's
kept
got
looking
to
at
be.
this race,
She's got to be 15 to 1.
right?
Here,
And it's like all the horses that are short prices can all win. They can run 1, 2, 3. But I don't particularly want to take any of them at short prices, so I thought I'd take her at a bigger price because I can make a case. She's got races
She'll
good enough
pay
to win,
$30.
and I don't think they were really. I thought she needed a race off the layoff.
She'll
and
pay
hasn't had a
$30.
chance since
She'll
then.
pay $30 if she wins, and this is not the race you want to talk anybody off for any horse in that race.
Race number 10. Take a look at Linda Rice. Tried this trainer change so far. In the race number 10, we'll look at Well Brush My Tooth. These trainer changes from John Service have not worked out for Linda.
No,
have
they
they?
haven't. They have not. And this horse comes in off clearly the worst race of her life down at Gulfstream. We haven't seen
This
it
is
for
a race 2 back, by
5
the way.
months. This is the
in
race
case
2
people are
back.
wondering.
When she's just going to
Not
get
the
beat,
worst race of her life.
beat us out.
The
Not
problem with
worst
this race
of her life.
is this race really that good?
No, of course not. She ran a 58, 53. I mean, no.
Right. So I just don't know, you know, and Linda, as good a job as she does, she doesn't have great numbers improving horses off of trainer
At the very
changes.
least, she's a little bit of a fresh face.
No, I get it. I understand. But the problem is, because she's a fresh face, she ain't going to be nowhere near that 5-1 in this race.
No.
A lot of agree to scratch. That's why she'll
yeah.
be, Dave would add her 7-2
Right.
or 3-1
Right.
if she did a lot of
Right.
tough
Shannon's,
scratch.
I thought Shannon's girl was a little interesting. Our buddy Gary Gullo retired, gives it to his buddy Gary Siaka.
You and Gary hanging out? Did Gary buy you dinner at Gary buy you dinner at Hinghamberto's?
I don't think so.
There's something going on. You're all liking an awful lot of Gary Siaka horses all of a sudden.
This filly,
Gary,
who's been an absolute
do I need to call you and find out what's going on here?
incinerator. This filly's been an absolute incinerator.
But you think today's the day at 1 for 19 that you want to use her?
At the very least, La Negrita has some consistency getting checks in this condition, and she's a black belt. Was kind of a little bit of a ringer last time. So, class is not the word I would ever use to describe any of these in here. But
thank God,
she's the one. I think. I mean, she's only run twice on a fast track. She has a win in a second.
I'm going to make a promise. I will never pick Class C Sadie again if she can't win here. But I bet her she didn't handle the slop last time.
No.
She didn't handle the slop. She's not a turf horse, and she had a lousy trip on October 3rd. It's her first time back on a fast track since she had that lousy trip on October 3rd. She runs back to her October 3rd race. She'll run a circle around this group. I like Class C Sadie today.
I'm using 1-3-6-9 to wrap it up and pick 4 and pick 5.
I'm betting on Class C Sadie anywhere over 3-1 in this race.
You gotta get 3-1, no?
I have no idea what I'm going to get around here. I might get 8-1. I might get 8-1.
I think Linda's horse now has the potential. I think Will Brush My Tooth now has the potential to be like 2-1, 9-5.
I feel sorry for people that
I
are betting her at 9-5 in this race, and I picked her second.
I don't love that I scratched that I have.
You
her
scratched into her?
Well,
You
no,
picked La
would have been the
Negrita?
favorite. I scratched into her as the favorite. La Negrita would have been favored over her.
Probably correct. I don't know how anybody bets La Negrita anything other than place.
That's why I had a second.
They should rename her Lucky Dan. You, because you've had so much fun today.
I mean, how much? You're not going to have much more fun than this on a Friday.
You've got to head over to Naira Bets. Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, morning, noon, night. Sign up. We'll match the $200 your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. NairaBets.com for more information. Bet through Naira Bets. Support Racing New York. Cross Country Pick 5, races 7 and 8 Aqueduct, interspersed around races 5, 6, and 9. This will be a little more than a 2-hour gap in this one.
Number 9.
Long time.
Louisiana.
And finally, the Saturday contest, $250 buy-in. You have until 5 o'clock today, which gives you just a little over 5.5 hours to sign up.
Don't make it so tight. Just go do it now.
Register now. Naira.com/challenge. See, you become a member of Naira Bets, you can play that.
You have to grasp the moment. Procrastination is the father of disaster. Sid Thrift, former Pirates GM, said that.
I get all of my sayings from former baseball players.
GM.
Mostly Paul Duca.
General manager.
Sid Thrift. I know who Sid Thrift is.
Yeah, well, you said player. I said manager.
That's true. I have a friend who said, love Sid Thrift. Say he was a great guy. Very nice things to say about him. On that note, Johnny I, the voice of New York racing, is up next, the reprise, the Scratches and Changes.